All right, another water harvesting project you can do at your house. So this is a simple one. You're just digging a basin off your street. So first thing, our street kind of slopes here from right to left. You can see all that debris kind of comes down from the stop sign there in the distance, comes towards us, and then these rocks on the left side of the road, that's where water heads off. I don't want that water to head off. I want to capture some of it. Why? Because I love water. And I also want to beautify the front of this street. Right now it's just creosotes, but I'm thinking let's get some bushes, maybe some native yuccas and some mesquite trees. So to feed those, instead of putting an irrigation system, we're just going to do simple curbside basins. So these are little, like, we don't have a gutter, or excuse me, a gutter or sidewalk here. So it's just dirt. But what we're going to do is, in a sense, first thing before we do any of this is to dig. So we're digging down along here. You can see the yellow stakes. Those are gas. We're doing some, we mark it with a gas line coming down. And we want to know where the gas line is. We want to know where water line is. So call your 811 and get that figured out. So 811 here in Arizona marked our gas line. So I know I'm not digging down on that yellow stake. But what I can do is I can dig along other areas and I can take it deeper off to the side. So all we're trying to do is let this water come off the road and come down into the basin and then flow back in the road and down. So these are just areas to capture water, slow it down, then let it go down the road a little bit more. So we're slowly digging out a few of these. The next thing we'll do is start to support them with rock. So here we are finishing our third curbside basin to collect some water. We already have the plants. You can see our other two are done. We have our willow tree in, grass, and a fern ball acacia all rocked in. So those are getting a little bit of water right now. Some water them every couple days. Those plants just to keep the soil moist. As the winter rains come, that should take care of the rest of the watering. And then spring we'll probably do a little bit through the summer, as this is just their first year. So they've been in the ground less than a month, but doing okay. Here we finished shaping out our basin, you can see. And I probably screwed up on this one, was I didn't leave enough of a lip. So because you can see at the top, the rock goes right up into the dirt where I had the dirt as kind of a basin there. So it led for a little bit awkward. I had to put some extra rock up there so the water doesn't come up and over the top. Here's this other guy. You can see I put a watering can on it today. Same thing, desert willow, grass, and a fern ball acacia. So with here, these two, what I'm doing is I'm leaving a nice flat area around the top. So we'll be able to bring the rock higher than that lip so dirt is not coming over. Now we did with the heavy rains have water come this way and around. So I'm probably gonna have to use some of this rock and make a little overflow. So if water does come, I'm hoping that one, it will either channel into and down the rock face into the basin, and then if need to, some can go around either way. If it does go around this side, it'll come back into the basin. If it goes around that side, it'll go into that basin. So always thinking about where the water's going to flow. Now what we've done in terms of the rock work, you want to get that first layer in. So there's a little gap here I got to finish. But I have my biggest, heaviest rocks here. And then because there's a little bit of a gap, we filled in some dirt so we can fill in those cracks. Remember, we're not using any cement or mortar that's environmentally not so good. It costs extra money, which I don't want to pay extra money. And it doesn't allow this to be removed or changed up in the future. So say I decide to do something different, I can just pull the rocks. They're not embedded in. But what you do is you use that dirt both below and behind and fill in the cracks. Use your dirt as a mortar. So you're gonna fill in those cracks with dirt. Now we do a good solid first line because we want to get that nice angle. Remember, we're stacking the rocks into the hillside. And as we do that, we're going to build this basin up. So I'm going to stack a little bit more rock, and I'll show you where we've come. Here we are at our last basin. We finally got the rock wall done. So now we got 3 plants. We're going to go ahead and plant. Let's go ahead and lay those out and see where they fit. All right, so here's our 3 in place. We got our Texas Ranger, which could grow up to 6 feet or so. Got our hackberry here, and then we got a little dahlia there. Let's go ahead and dig them in. Finished product. All right, we got our 3 trees in, walls done. Again, we made little basins for them, you can see. So as we put water in for the first couple years, here, get them established. We got a nice area. Now what I'll do is I'll probably make overflows based on how the water flows in. Here water is going to come on off the street into the Ranger and then probably come out and around. And then this will drop down in here, fill that, and eventually fill over here and out that side. So we'll just see how it goes. We'll get some mulch on it, but knowing that this mulch is going to probably wash away, we'll probably be doing it with just some rocks. Nice. So I wanted to do a follow-up. This is 1 year after we put these basins in, and just wanted to show you kind of how things were working. So flow for this basin on the side actually comes from this side of the street, and then the water goes up and in. And the middle basin, kind of water just flows to it. And I'll show you some of the addendums and little adjunct stuff I've made, but I definitely had to clear out the space right in front. So one of the reasons I had to clear out that space right in front here is we wanted to clean this out to allow the water to flow in. Initially it was built up a little bit, but that's kind of water flows in here. Fernball acacia is doing nice. The willow's doing well. We've got some other grasses growing in addition. And I've also put some mulch in here on some of these. So here our plants have also done pretty well. The Ranger's been blooming a couple times, and the hackberry in the middle is doing well. And then our first one on this side has done well. Some of the grasses were eaten by animals and kind of disappeared. And the fern balls had some difficulties, but it's doing okay. Willow trees there. This one, some adjuncts I made is as it inflows here, there would be a steady stream of kind of silt coming in. So I put some rocks off the beginning here, and those rocks hopefully are catching some of that silt so it doesn't come right in. The other thing is the outflow is this was, when it filled up, flowed back into the street. So when it was flowing back into the street, dirt and everything was coming back here, and I was losing some of that water. So created my own little gutter kind of trench here, just dug that out to allow water, now stabilized it with rocks to basically flow into the next basin when it goes heavy. And you can see there's some marks down here of where the dirt has eroded away. Put a little rock check dam kind of catch some of that silt so it just doesn't go right onto the plants. But yeah, the basins are looking good. 1 year out after doing some streetside basins.